Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And viewers, whether it's murders, fires, or just some bit of natural disaster, this has not been the merriest of weeks here in Tobago. On Tuesday, we had that freak storm in Charlotteville that caused a bit of damage. And Chief Secretary Farley Augustine was up in Charlotteville on Tuesday and has been closely monitoring the cleanup efforts. And he's actually on the line with us this morning. So a special good morning and welcome to you, Chief Secretary. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Kandace. Thanks for having me. I was in the area yesterday as well, and likely to return again today. Charlotteville is part of my electoral district, and so more than monitoring, I want to ensure that the cleanup activities happen. We we had sort of like a freak of nature incident in Charlotteville. It was isolated to Charlotteville. But I want folks to note that there were some flooding that occurred in Grenada as well. So Grenada experienced the bulk of the inclement weather. Charlottesville being where it's located geographically experienced the difficulties. Um, More than that, we saw where one home was destroyed, subsequent to the photos and videos that everyone saw. The porch that was cantilevering, hanging on by steel threads, that eventually fell off. The JDL Drive cleanup effort, that's not quite underway yet, but that will commence in earnest today. We try to see if we could clean in the center of the village. That's the area spanning the housing scheme, extending all the way to the back. We had the assistance of the fire service and WASA yesterday to begin washing down and getting rid of the slush and the mud and the dust. We had to engage from the very evening of the flood, a team of about 20 young men, unemployed young men, to have them manually remove some of the material because all of the drains were completely clogged with mud, and we did not have the benefit of equipment that could fit into the drains. So we had to use shovel and manually remove the mud and debris from the drains in the event that if rain falls again, we don't have a reoccurrence of flooding. We have some landslides behind some private residents. Those also are being dealt with manual labor. And as the young men bring the mud and debris to the main carriageways, then the backhoes and the trucks take them up. We unfortunately had an incident with one of the backhoes yesterday, where by accident the glass on the backhoe got shattered, and that backhoe down tools for a while, but we kept pressing forward. We have engaged all of the work crews that we normally call the gangs, all of the work crews from the Division of Health from the Speyside district are now fully engaged in Charlotteville. All of the work crews from within the Division of Infrastructure, they are also in Charlotteville. Um, the community also has two funerals this week, and those funerals might actually happen today. Um, and so we really try and see if we can get one to have happen. Is that we don't want apology. Someone keep trying to call at the same time. But we don't want to get to next week Monday and the village is still in a state of disrepair. But we are moving. The crews are working till late in the night. I got home. I got home last night, just after 11 p.m. The night before I got home, sometime after 1 in the morning. So we worked till very, very, very late in the night. Hermitage, that's along the link road leading to Lansome from Charlotteville. That was also completely blocked. We managed to clear just a single carriageway so that traffic can flow, because there is a small community living in that enclave in Hermitage, and we want the residents there to be able to have access in and out. We cleared most of the landslides descending the hill in Charlotteville. There is just one large one that's directly underneath Turpin Bend, and we have been very cautious in terms of how we clear that one, because we don't want to have further erosion happen on the hill descending Charlotteville. But all systems are go. TMA is in there, as I said. We're getting the support from the fire service, from WASA, also the TTPS. They are out. They are out also helping to direct traffic, and all of that while we get the cleaning done. The gas station resumed operations yesterday. We were able to have them resume some operations yesterday by way of getting a lot of manual help to remove the dirt and debris from around the pumps there. So the village is getting back up and running. The villagers are quite resilient. Let me say thanks to the villagers. The young men especially have been incredible. They come out, they work all day, and then in the night, late in the night, we bust a pot, cook, eat, and then go home and
Charlotteville
resume the
style.
day. Yes, and then we resume the day at 7 a.m. So the teams are already out, back out to work. I won't be able to pass through there until this afternoon, possibly because we have a sitting this morning at 10 a.m. And so the reason I asked not to have my video shown is because I'm quite rough, not having been able to get to the bar or anything, and just waking after getting in late last night. So,
Certainly.
so
But Chief,
thanks, villagers, for your support, and thanks for your patience.
no problem. But Chief Secretary, before we go, I mean, can I just get an idea from you? It's like, what's the feeling like on the ground in Charlotteville, especially after just going through this? You know, it came out of nowhere. The rest of the island was hot and sunny, and then all of a sudden we're seeing this happening here, there in Charlotteville.
Well, the villagers are quite resilient, to be honest, and the villagers are intent on keeping their Christmas. So it's not going to dampen the mood at all in the community. And that's why we're so grateful for the fire service, and having the fire service do all of the washing and so on. Because we won't want after the mud dries out, that it's dusty all over, and that the dust is now in the restaurants, inside the homes, and other businesses. So we're really working hard on ensuring that we could get things cleared, in time for the festive weekend that is coming. We're pretty confident that by the time we get to tomorrow night, we should have a significant portion of the village clean. As indicated, JD Ella Drive would be a bit difficult, because JD Ella Drive, that's where we had the house that was damaged.
Mm,
The track is almost impassable, and with the amount of mud there and so on, we'll need smaller equipment to get in there to get out the mud. One and two, we have to be careful in removing the landslide, because we won't want the house and much more mud coming down on those who are actually working. So we're kind of cautious in that area. We have some land slippage in the Bel Air area that we're getting to today. Just one spot by Mr. Lee Warner out in Campbellton there. We get to that also later today. We were able to get the work done up on that, at the Church Street extension up at the back there. Past Pussycat House up on the back there. We were able to get to that yesterday, and get that area cleared. So we are getting it cleared. We do have, unfortunately, at least one roadway that has to be completely rebuilt, meaning that even after the clearing of the area, the road will not be drivable, because of the water and the damage done. But we will get all that's necessary done in time for Christmas, and of course, the longer term work we will get to that just after the Christmas holidays.
And then what can you tell me about the cost? Have you been able to even just estimate at this point? I know, of course, you can't get exact figures at this point, but if you could put an approximate figure as to what is the damage that has been caused in Charlotteville, well, what can you say at this point?
It will be difficult for me to give a guess. In fact, I would want to hazard a guess. The TEMA is perhaps the better agency to quantify the costs, because you're talking about having to call out backhoes and equipment that we do not have residents in the Division of Infrastructure, and certainly not residents in the east of Tobago. So we had to call out trucks, have the trucks stop what they're doing and get to Charlotteville to get the work done. So we have to pay for those. We also had to have the gas station in Charlotteville supply fuel to the fire tenders that were used. Um, and of course, they had to do that, and we will pay them subsequently. So Tima is the one who manages all of those things and will be able to give a cost. Fortunately, for the home that was damaged, we have not had to pay for the relocation of anyone. Just one family member was living in the downstairs, and that family member moved to his sister's home, and they were able to take out their valuables. So we are not paying or committing to paying rent for any family member from that home. The owner of the home passed away and was buried earlier this year. So she didn't get to experience what transpired. It was a very elderly lady, Miss Christmas. So we are still grateful. We're grateful that there was no loss of lives. We're grateful that there were no children playing in the roadway where we had the gushing of water, and no one was washed away at all. So we're really, really grateful that we did not lose any life, and that the damage to private property was minimized as much as possible.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, for being on with us this morning and giving us an update of what's been going on in Charlotteville. And we certainly appreciate the efforts being made to clean up the community and to restore it back to normalcy.
Yes, thank you very much, and let me just join you in wishing everyone Happy New Year when it comes. I pray that this season be brighter. I know this season um, I've had some unfortunate incidents, such as the fire last night in Combe Point. While I was up in the countryside, I heard of the fire that happened down in the Combe Point area
Yes.
as well. Of course, we can't ignore the homicides that have happened. And as we enter into the new year, we will have to have a large and hard conversation about the crime fighting strategies on the island, and what's working and what's just not working. We have to have some frank conversations about those, and about whether or not the national security apparatus on the island is getting the kinds of support it needs from the Ministry of National Security, and what ought to happen. But for now, we will salvage what we can in terms of the holidays. And the holidays always present a good opportunity for family to be together, and for parents to spend time with children and to spend time with each other. We also have those kinds of engagements as family. So let's make this all about family this holiday, and ensure we support each other as much as is possible.
Certainly. Thank you again, Chief Secretary. All right,
All right, and
viewers.
have a
Yes. So viewers, that's it for this segment, but please don't go anywhere because we've got a whole lot more coming up for you on GMT. We'll be back after this break.